Saturday Social is powered by EA Sports FIFA 23 with PlayStation.
Only one place to start. We're going to talk team of the tournament. We think it's a good time to do it. It's our last World Cup show. Yeah. The World Cup finals tomorrow. So there's still one game to do. 2 games to play technically with the third and fourth place playoff. The rules are very simple with this one. We've got Spencer and Rory on the show. They've got to pick their best 11 of the tournament. That's it. Now, any disagreement, it comes down to Joe and I to decide based on the best argument.
Yes. We're going to go for the 4-3-3. Both happy with it?
Yeah, happy with the 4-3-3. Yeah.
Kick it off straight away. Then keepers, isn't it?
Goalkeepers. Who you gone with?
Well, I'm going to put Szczesny on the table.
Oh, okay.
I think he had a brilliant World Cup, saving a penalty from Lionel Messi. That was iconic in itself. If you were to say the reason that Poland got through the groups, if you were to say the one reason that they got through, I think their goalkeeper is probably the shout for that. And I just think he's overall a brilliant keeper who perhaps doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. So maybe we should give it to him.
Yeah, I think it's a good case for him. I think it's a whole catalogue of Arsenal goalkeepers. I mean, he was first team goalkeeper for a while, but you've got people like Martinez at Argentina, even Fabianski, who came to West Ham, who've progressed since leaving Arsenal. I've gone with Lukovic from Croatia. I think there's a load of goalkeepers in this category you could have thrown in there. Martinez being one of them, Bono from Morocco. But I think his penalty saves were a joke, and I think you're talking the same reasons as Szczesny. He's such a big reason that Croatia got to where they got to. You know, all talks of Modric, but he was a standout player for them, I thought.
Especially given that they basically got their own penalty shootouts, didn't they? And
exactly.
4 draws. Yeah.
4 penalties in shootout at the World Cup, which is the joint most of any keeper in World Cup history, by the way.
And it's times 2 of what Szczesny saved as well. Szczesny saved 2, he saved 4.
I mean, it's a good argument.
Face more though, didn't he? Face more.
Yeah,
he did.
Went
didn't
further as well, yeah. I mean, basically the argument put forward with the amount of penalty saves and how far Croatia went again.
The fact that Croatia got
such a small nation, I think.
You're going with him? Okay.
We're going with him. He's a mate. That's the other thing. Was it 3.5 million or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, Szczesny, though, to be fair, joint most saves at the World Cup with Livakovic, the man there. And obviously, with his penalty shootout record, he just edges it. So he's the keeper first up.
All right back.
I don't think there's any debate here. I mean, it is Hakimi, isn't it?
Both got him. Yeah.
Has to be, surely.
It just has to be.
I mean, what a player. Given that there was some sort of debate, wasn't there, about, you know, he's had a good time of it at PSG, but maybe hasn't quite hit the heights this season that people were expecting. But Morocco,
I think he's everything that you want in a fullback. I think everything that you want in terms. You know, if I were to sort of try and put you on the spot and say, what's he not good at as a fullback? Off the top of your head, I can't really think of anything. He has all of the attributes that you want from a player in that position, and then the other things that are less tangible, like his will to win, his desire, the heart that he shows, the tenacity that he plays with. I think he's just a class act.
I know what you mean about that, because we have this debate. We're blessed with so many good players in that position, but the debate that English fans have is how good they are defensively versus attack, and we've got great fullbacks that can bomb on an assist, and we've got ones that can defend. With Hakimi, it feels like he can do everything.
Is he the best right back in the world?
I think he's up there, probably in the conversation. I mean, in
terms
of the World Cup, the other players I looked at here, I really liked Juranovic again from Croatia, but I wanted to have some balance to the team. I knew we had a Croatian goalkeeper, and I've got another one coming in as well. Dumfries seems to just turn it on at an international tournament, doesn't he?
I was going to say,
in a similar mould to him, I'd say, in terms of attacking, you know, being his main threat, but not as good, I don't think, as Hakimi all round. But I think he might be one of the best right backs in the world.
I think he is. I mean, it's not even controversial to say that he's one of the best. I think where he ranks in comparison to other great fullbacks is more of a debate.
All he's thinking is Reece James.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I didn't want to go too far because he's not as good as Reece James. But apart from that, I think he's top class.
Dumfries is a good shout though, but I think we all agree has to be Hakimi there. Centre-backs. Let's do the pairing with centre-backs, we always do, because you've both gone... We've got 4 different players here.
Oh, wow.
So Spencer, do you want to give us your 2 and explain why, and then we'll go on to Rory?
First one's going to be an easy sell, I think. The next one might be... He's not going to like the next one. The first one, going again...
Whoa. He doesn't go on the ball.
Give us the reasons.
Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? There's rules around here.
Look how angry he gets. OK. Vardiol, the only thing you can say about him is what Messi did to him in that game, and I bet Messi could do that to anyone. You know? He has had an amazing tournament. He had to wear a mask the whole time, guys. And he's 20 years old. He's 20 years old. He's going to get a big move, maybe to Chelsea. Who knows? And I just think he's one of the standout centre halves of the tournament. So I think that's an easier sell than the next one.
What's the next one?
Bang! Slabhead.
Stop it.
Get him in there.
You've made a mockery of yourself here. You've made a mockery.
Slabhead in the team.
No, you've made a mockery of your own.
Are you not being turned around at all by his performances in this tournament whatsoever?
No,
not at all.
No.
He was outstanding, mate. He was outstanding. He was our best player in the first game against Iran. He was consistent throughout. I was so close to scoring that header against France and being the hero. If he did that, I think people would have had to shut up about him. I'm not saying he's been good for Man United. I'm not saying that. I'm saying despite his poor performances for Man United, despite the criticisms he had to live with all through his life every day, he's shone in this England team.
He often does shine for England, though, doesn't he?
People didn't want him to start.
Shine.
He often does play. When does he not play well for England? Then do you think? Do you look at the Euros?
Just the Nations League games.
Consult your OED and look up the word shine. That man does not shine ever. He does not know the definition of the word shine. He played all right against very beatable teams. He played all right against a Wales team. Kiefer Moore up front, yeah, excellent. Give him a round of applause for that. He played all right against Senegal, a team that were never going to threaten us, a team that didn't even have their best player available. Yeah, excellent against Iran, the Goliath, the behemoth of international football. What are we talking about? Harry Maguire didn't have a good World Cup.
Rory, you don't think Harry Maguire had a good World Cup?
He was fine. He did all right against all the teams that you expect us to beat.
I think if you came into this World Cup with a clean perspective on Maguire, you would agree you would agree that he had a good World Cup. I think you're talking about some teams there. You're talking about the African Cup of Nations champions of Senegal.
Without Sadio Mane.
Of course. But Morocco obviously didn't win that.
A Sheffield United centre forward. A Sheffield United centre forward.
You've also talking about statistically, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but some people would say that the highest ranked group in the tournament. You know, you can say Iran and Wales and whatever you want.
The only group with 4 teams in the top 20.
All 4 teams in the top 20 of FIFA rankings.
Oh, come
I don't think you can. It's international football isn't as simple as always.
Saudi
Arabia beat Argentina. People can slip up.
There was genuinely a group of death, though. Japan progressed from it. That was a group of death.
Yeah,
there is no spin. There is no spin where you can try and suggest that the England group was anything other than tough. England should have been taking 9 points.
Who have you got?
I've got the correct selections. I've got the correct selections. I've got the mix and blend of youth and experience.
French players or Argentinian players who've got to the final.
France have only kept one clean sheet. France have only kept one clean sheet, and I think, honestly, Argentina's been a one-man team, to be honest.
Varane was a shout. Varane was on my mind here.
No Argentinian centre-backs close for you?
No, I think Thiago Silva is just exceptional, and I think he's shone again. And
he plays for Chelsea.
And of course. And Nathan Ake's really surprised me.
He used to play for Chelsea as well.
Yeah, there's a theme. There's a theme. I'm not going to deny that there's a theme. But I think that those two... Oh, come on. Look,
Thiago Silva, it was him or Maguire for me. Thiago Silva was on my list. I just went with Maguire in the end. I think Gvardiol's ahead of Ake, personally.
Can I ask, Roy, are you happy to concede on either of these, Maguire or Gvardiol?
I can live with Gvardiol being in the team.
So maybe we go Gvardiol.
I'm happy to go Gvardiol and Thiago Silva, because that was my favourite.
If you put Harry Maguire in, I leave.
Gvardiol and Thiago.
Just definitely
if you put Harry Maguire in, I leave.
He said, if you put Harry Maguire in, I'll leave. Spencer, let's put him in then. He wants him to leave.
No, I'm happy with him and Thiago Silva.
Okay, deal.
That was my original
deal. Consensus.
I think all 4 had very good tournaments. Gvardiol's been exceptional. Thiago Silva edges it. I've got to say, Ake against, I think the Argentina game was brilliant.
I think
the thing about him is just the age that he's still doing it. I can't get my head around it.
I have to say, I think Argentina's defence has been shafted there. I think
that's lose to Saudi Arabia.
Romero was a shout.
No, not
Romero's
close.
a shout, I think. But nobody's really been shafted when these two are in.
Yeah.
All right, okay, let's move on to your left backs then.
Okay, so there's a couple of options here, and sometimes I like to challenge the status quo a bit, and I thought about, can I play a right back, left backs? I thought there was more stronger right backs than left backs, but I've gone with Guerreiro from Portugal. Now, first and foremost, he's generally another player that shines for Portugal in international tournaments. He's not the biggest name. Him, along with Dalot, kept Cancelo out of the team, which we're talking about, is Hakimi the best right back in world football? Coming into this World Cup, it probably would have been Cancelo as a right back or a left back, best in the world. This guy kept Cancelo out of the team, and you saw some of his strong performances, particularly in the knockout stages against Switzerland, goals and assists. And I like him as a left back, so he's my suggestion.
I think it's a good shout. I do think it's a good shout. I've gone for Aziz Behic, because I think that what we can do sometimes is be naturally drawn to the most successful teams without necessarily identifying the brilliance on display from the teams that go out earlier. And Australia got through the groups.
But we haven't got a single France or Argentina player.
No, but the night is young, Joe. The night is young.
Yeah, exactly. Theo Hernandez obviously got a goal.
Hernandez been playing golf out there. Surely he's the best left
Theo
back.
Hernandez was the worst player on the pitch against England.
Yeah, he wasn't great in every game.
And Harry Maguire was on that pitch.
I thought Upamecano was probably the worst player in that France squad.
Yeah, he was
but
struggling.
I think it's not my decision now. And you're going Behic versus Guerreiro and Smithy. I'll leave it to you then.
Also, stop. Let's end with... You said your thing about Maguire. We all agree he's had a good tournament. Let's not keep bringing it back to that, OK? Give some love to Maguire.
I love Maguire.
Theo Hernandez,
Harry, I love you.
Theo Hernandez nearly cost his team. If Harry Kane didn't bottle that penalty, that would have been a very different story for Theo Hernandez.
I couldn't put him in there.
So who are you going with for these left-backs then? It's up to us?
I'm happy with either, to be totally frank. I felt like Aziz Behic needed a mention.
All right,
I think that's fair.
I think it should be Theo Hernandez, but let's go Rafa Guerreiro.
We'll go Guerreiro,
yeah. I like it.
And we don't have the Hernandez magnet either. So
yeah, we don't.
That was that one out. Right, we'll move on to midfield. Now, there's one midfield player that you both agree on. So let's go with...
I reckon it's this man, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Big bad G.
Go on.
Yeah, the main
Let's
man.
talk about him. I mean, what a tournament,
What a player,
Jude
man.
Bellingham. What a player. His ceiling is just so high. Isn't it?
You actually run out of superlatives when you talk about him. The maturity, the stature, the way that he led the team, comforting Harry Kane after that miss. I thought the way that he seized the day against Senegal, he was a man possessed. And can you believe that not only was he the youngest man in this squad, but he's so young that, when England go to America, Mexico and Canada, he could actually still feasibly be the youngest player in that squad.
Yeah, he'll be 22. He won't even be 23 yet.
Second youngest ever scorer for England at a World Cup after Michael Owen.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? How much do you think he is worth now in this market, given the transfers?
Football's gone mad.
Yeah, I mean, if any footballers are worth what they're worth, then he's 100 mil plus.
Yeah.
He's got to be. He's got to be.
Stick him on them.
Yeah, easy decision.
Tap him. Who's partnering him there
here.
in the midfield?
Oh,
Okay, well, midfield was tough for me, and I've gone quite mainstream. I know some shouts for some other players in here, but these players impressed me, and I think this man is like, when he came to Man United, Casemiro, when he came to Man United, there was Graham Souness and other people were coming out and saying he doesn't do that much, he's not world class and all this stuff. You just got to look at his trophy cabinet to see that that's clearly not true. But he actually was carrying the Brazilian midfield. And when I say that, I don't mean there's not talented players in there. I'm saying he allowed everyone else to do the attacking. Even people like Lucas Paqueta playing as an 8, West Ham obviously, been able to do that because of how good he was. He's also scoring goals, and just really running things for Brazil. And I think in this sort of 4-3-3, he'd be my sitting guy just next to Bellingham.
there's also a lot of work on him because they played such an attacking formation that you said that Paqueta, they played Neymar, then they played with 2 wingers and Richarlison. So it was almost like he was the only one doing any defensive duty in that midfield and breaks up play so well, doesn't he, Casemiro?
Flawless footballer. Absolutely flawless. I've got no issue with Casemiro being in any team. But my shout, Sofia Amrabat.
That's a good shout.
I think he's been
It's a
amazing.
good shout, to be fair. Yeah.
He was a gladiator, wasn't he? He was a gladiator of a midfielder. He demonstrates all of the characteristics that I love from a midfielder. Combative, aggressive, fights for everything.
Yeah.
He's everything I want Jorginho to be. I just love him. I think he's so good.
So we still haven't got a France or Argentina player, the 2 teams in the final so far.
They'll come in. They'll come in. don't
Be
worry.
slightly more patient. Trust me.
We've got to make a decision out of these 2. So, Spence, what are your thoughts?
Well, no, I had him on my list as well. He was there along with Anahi, the other brilliant
good
Moroccan
point.
midfielder. I think he gets a big move at some point. But yeah, I mean, I've had a few that have got in there. So I'm happy
we've
for
got
Rory.
Amrabat just because of how well.
Yeah.
I think we've got to give a nod to how well
fine.
Morocco have done. I think he's been brilliant.
Yeah, let's go into your third midfielder, so number 10 sort of role.
Yeah, number 10, or maybe he's been playing as an 8 in this tournament. I'm going with Antoine Griezmann.
What a tournament.
He's got to be in there. I'm sure Rory's going to have him in somewhere. Potentially player of the tournament. I think it all depends what happens in the final tomorrow. I think if he shines again, he gets it. Obviously, there's a few other options in there that could win it. But he's reinvented himself. Coming into this tournament, if you said he was going to play in an attacking position, you'd probably be a bit underwhelmed by that. You'd look at what he's done for Atletico Madrid. The fact that they weren't even playing him just so they could save the money on the loan deal until he obviously come permanently. They weren't playing him for the full 90 at least. But he's done so. Look at the statistics. He's top of so many different charts for this World Cup, and I think he's got to be in your team.
And he destroyed England.
He completely destroyed
Griezmann
England.
destroyed England.
Yeah, he completely. Look, he's obviously in this team. It's where you want to accommodate him. I've gone for Enzo Fernandez as another midfielder. Yeah. But don't get me wrong, Antoine Griezmann is in this side. At some point, he has to be in this side. And I think Spencer's bang on. Everything that he said there is so accurate to Griezmann. I mean, we know about his attacking ability, but where he really surprised me, he was playing that sort of defensive number 8 position in the way that Claude Makelele would have been proud. He was everywhere. He's so astute as well. The slightly darker side of the game, those tactical fouls. He's so crucial.
Learned that from Simeone, didn't he?
Exactly. He's so crucial with so conducive to a winning team. So he's definitely in my side and definitely going to be here somewhere. But I think Enzo Fernandez deserves a mention here as well.
Another good tournament. Yeah, he's had a breakout tournament for sure. He wasn't even starting at the beginning, was he? And they've introduced him and he's shown.
I think that's been part of the allure of Enzo Fernandez. He's basically changed how they've played after that first horrendous.
They've changed a lot from that first game, haven't they?
Yeah. I mean, has a player ever sounded more Real Madrid than Enzo Fernandez?
Yeah, it's got that move written all over it.
100%.
It has got that move.
It's difficult to know what to do with Griezmann here because without knowing the next few choices, because we both want him in the team, right?
Why don't you put him on because you both want him in, and then we decide who the
Okay.
rest are based on your 3. Should we do the front 3 together?
Well, there's surely a couple nailed ons here that we can kind of glaze over.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine Lionel Messi is in both of yours.
Yes,
we've
they're
got
both
both these boys in, haven't we?
Yeah, completely. They're obviously both in. Where I was struggling is I wanted to put Richarlison in, just because I think Richarlison's probably scored the 2 best goals of the World Cup.
Yeah.
The single player scored the best 2 goals of the tournament, and therefore I was going to put him in. But ultimately, I've had to go with a sort of false 9 situation because I wanted Enzo Fernandez in, and then I effectively went Griezmann, Messi and Mbappe up front. I appreciate that it's left field and perhaps lacks shape. But so that's bundles of goals, isn't it?
Yeah. Fine.
Neither have you got Julian Alvarez there?
No, and I think he has gone under the radar. You know, I think he well, in terms of Messi just dominating the every single headline for obvious reasons, right? But Alvarez has been very good. So, again, a little bit like Fernandes, didn't start in that first game, came into it, and now has become really the main goal scorer alongside Messi for Argentina.
Yeah. Do you know what Spencer's so spot on there? Do you know what I really noticed off the back of that massive Argentina win in the semi?
Yeah.
You think. Everybody was talking about Lionel Messi. Every headline was about Lionel Messi. And obviously, Messi's contribution for that third goal was dazzling. But Julian Alvarez scored 2 and won the penalty for Messi to score. And nobody mentioned him. He was clearly man of the match that day, Alvarez, and does deserve at least an honourable mention here.
It's frightening that he's at City understudying us.
I know.
Yeah. It's frightening the amount of money that City paid as well, how low that fee was.
Yeah. Their recruitment policy is amazing, isn't it? It's annoying. They're really good at transfers as well as having loads of money.
That winds you up, doesn't it? I can tell. There must be a third player that you disagree with. Giroud,
Yes, Olivier Giroud. Listen, the man...
Every time he plays for France.
Every time a tournament comes round, everyone says the same thing. Oh, he's the most underrated striker. And why is he still underrated? He's 36 years old, right? He won the World Cup without scoring a goal, and people use that as a sort of stick to hit him with. It's like, well, no, actually, the fact that he was never dropped from that team without scoring a goal shows you how instrumental he was.
France's greatest striker of all time. Top scorer.
More than Henry for France. It's crazy, right? He's now got the pace either side of him with Mbappe and Dembele. So you've got Griezmann pulling strings in the middle. It's just unlocked him as a goal-scoring threat. I actually shouted him as one of my... shouts for potential Golden Boot before the tournament, which sounds a bit crazy if you think about he didn't score any last time. But in this team, I was for he scored goals, and he does. When France need him, he does exactly what they need him to do.
Big game player as well. Big game player.
He is.
He really does rise to the occasion. Like, you know, when Chelsea played Arsenal in Baku to beat Arsenal in a European Cup final, he's the main man. You know, he really does rise to the occasion when it most matters. I've got no issue with Olivier Giroud being in this team, by the way.
Let's put the two that you agree on then, Messi and Mbappe. I think pretty much everyone agrees with that.
So who did you have up front?
Something like that. Well, I had Griezmann as a sort of front
Griezmann
three.
Like a false 9, did you? And then Fernandes in behind
so it's
him.
basically
I'm
Giroud
happy
or
to have
Fernandes,
Giroud.
isn't it?
I'm happy for it to be Giroud. I've got
Rory's.
I've got no.
You guys happy with that? Yeah, I think there's a bit more balance in that side with Giroud.
Hell of a side.
That wins the World Cup.
False 9. So there we go. There is confirmation of their team. We'll let you have a look at it. Let us know what you guys think of Rory and Spencer's team of the tournament.